Hello, welcome back to JoJo's Bakehouse. I'm Ginny and today we are going to be looking at the white chocolate drip. So you've seen on my channel already, I've got the milk chocolate drip on there, which can be milk or plain chocolate. I hope that's been really useful for you. And today we're going to do the white. The white needs a tutorial all of its own because it is a different chocolate altogether. The cocoa solids are very different and it doesn't behave the same. So to begin, the white chocolate. So I use this Bel Colade. Not very good with pronunciations. I'm sure I've said it wrong. But anyway, I use this one here, which I really love. Now you can buy chocolate chips in the supermarket. This one has got a cocoa solid of 31%. So I know that's important. Don't really understand what it is, but I know it's important. So if you can get something around about that, brilliant. So then we have got to melt this the same. So I'm going to go on a 3:1 ratio, which means I've got, to make my life easier, I've got 300 grams here of white chocolate. And to this, I'm going to add 100 grams of double cream. So I'm just going to pull that over the top. Keep going. Till we get to 100, there we go. And then I'm going to colour mine today. So if you wanted to just get it white, you can use titanium dioxide for that, but I'm going to do pink. So I've got this Colour Mill Candy. Now when you're using chocolate, you need to make sure that it's an oil-based colouring, which is what this is, otherwise it just isn't going to behave properly and it can make your chocolate split. Right, I can't get this off, so one sec. Okay, sorted. Now, if you've watched any of my tutorials, then you'll know that I like to add colour to heat because it activates colour better. So I'm going to put some of this over the top. So there we go. A little squirt of that. That was probably 1/8 of a teaspoon to 1/4 of a teaspoon. So I'm going to pop this into the microwave now and take it in around about, I'll put it in for a minute to start with, take it out, give it a stir, and we'll go back in 30-second bursts until it's all completely melted in together. So I'll be back with you in a moment. Okay, so I've had that in the microwave for a minute and then I gave it a stir and then I put it in for another 60 seconds. It all depends on how big your chocolate is. If your chocolate is quite small and little chips, you'll need less time. So I'm not stirring it for the moment. The minute I stir, I'm going to put air into it and the air is a different temperature and it's just not going to melt properly. So always leave it for around about 20 or 30 seconds just so that it's doing its job and it starts to melt. So it's had a little bit of time. We'll just give it a stir around. It's a lovely colour, really nice, what I wanted, little baby colour. So, but like I said, if you don't want to colour it, you can just use some titanium dioxide. You can use anything just to try and make it white, because obviously white chocolate is actually quite yellow. It's the cocoa solids. Right, this is incorporated absolutely lovely. Look at that. Really nice. That colouring hasn't separated at all. It's still lovely and glossy. So we can't use this now because it's too hot and it's not going to drip. It's just going to melt the buttercream. So we need to get some cling film and put it right across the top, and then we wait for it to cool. Now your cake should be in the fridge at this point. The way that drip works is it needs the cold with chocolate. It just needs that cold to stop it and set as it's dripping down the side of the cake. If your cake isn't cold, then your drip is just going to fly straight down and it's not going to do what you want it to do. So make sure your cake's been in the fridge for a good hour before you attempt to do your drip. So I'm going to cover mine in cling film and come back to you when it has cooled completely. So it'll probably be about an hour and I will then be able to show you how to put the drip on. Right, I have my cake. It's been in the fridge. It's really cold, so I'm happy with that. We're going to move this to one side. Here is my white chocolate. Now, this is why white chocolate sometimes just isn't fun. That's coming off in blobs, so that's not going to drip. So it's come to room temperature. So now what we need to do is just give it a 5 to 10 second burst in the microwave to loosen it. We don't want it to heat, we just want to loosen it. So I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so I've pulled you in so you can see. So here it is. Now when I lift it up, it's coming down in one stream and it's leaving ribbons, you can see there. And that's the consistency you want. You don't want it to come in clumps. There we go, and it needs to be thick enough that it's leaving these ribbons. So that is our drip. So now we're going to pop it into a piping bag. And we'll pipe it out. Right, so it's in my piping bag. So you can do a test on a glass. So you just bring it across the top like this. And then push it to drop. And then push it to drop. And you can see there that it's dripping down the inside. So we are the right consistency. So let's bring in the cake. Right, so we're just going to push across the top here till we get to the edge. Let it fall, come across and let it fall. Come across, let it fall. You see there, where it's coming down? So go back in again, up towards the edge where you were. Go across and then push. And then across, stop and push. Now I'm not squeezing this, I'm just letting it go. The longer you stay there, the longer the drip's going to be because it's got a lot more weight on it. There we go. So there we are, you can see those coming down there, they look lovely. And the colder the cake has encased them and stopped them from going. So again, in again, if you're not sure how, you just come from the centre and go across and drop. Go across, drop. Across, I'm not putting any pressure on this bag, I'm just holding it. There we go. Lovely. We'll keep going all the way round. I won't do the falling drip with this one, I will just do the forced drip. There we go. Across, let it go. Across, and let it go. There we go. One of my ones was a little bit long there. Right. And across, drop, cross, drop. There we go. Let those just fall. Such a pretty colour. It's really, really lovely colour. Just give those a bit of a wiggle. So I've lost two here. That's where I went a little bit too long at the back there. So that's what happens. You want to make sure that you're happy enough with your drips coming down. There we go. So nice. Right, and then we need to deal with the top. So let's squeeze a lot of this on. I want a good bit. There we go. Right, I'm going to take our palette knife and just tease it into the edges of where it was. So I'm just teasing it. You don't want to put any weight on it because otherwise you're going to play with that drip and don't want that to happen. So keep pushing over. Just circle out the middle bit. Okay. Tease it towards the edge as much as you can. If there's not enough, don't force it round, just get some more. Nice little line all the way around there just to fill in those gaps. Gaps here. It always starts setting as soon as it hits the cake because of the cold. There we are. Always drawing into you so that you don't nudge the drip. Okay. Wants to set. And this is why white chocolate can be harder to work with because it's just not as runny. Can set very, very quickly. Just making sure it's all marrying up here. All the way around there. Okay. Pretty much all on. Now I want to try and make it straight across the top there. So wipe this on my glass. And I'm just going to go around very, very gently. There we go. Give it a nice finish across there. Again, very gently, not really going towards those edges. I want to knock that drip. There we go. So now I've got a nice flat top, and I do have a slight issue where the join is there. So what we do now is we just get a little bit of boiling water and then we can sort this out. So there we go. This is how it looks, and it's a lovely drip. Really, really nice. Let's sort the top bit out and then we'll be done. Okay, so on the back here, I've got a pan of really hot water, boiling water, and I'm going to heat up my little palette knife, or you can just use a regular knife. Whilst that's heating, I'll just wipe that down. Right. And then take some kitchen roll or blue roll, take this off, give it a wipe, and then just touch around the outsides where there's a slight issue. And the heat is going to melt the join back together. So it can be a boring process, but it's worth it because you will get a completely clean finish across the top, and that's what everybody wants. So let's just keep going. Always coming into yourself. Excellent. See here the way that that's all just joined up there. As soon as it starts to get a little bit tacky, straight back into the water again. So I'll finish off this, come back to you when it's done. Okay, so I've gone all the way round And now I've got a seamless mark. There is no ridges and bumps there now. So what we're going to do is put that swirl into the top. You can either leave it flat like that, or you can put in the swirl, and I'll show you how to do that now. So I've got my larger palette knife here, which is sat in the water. Okay, and then from the middle, I'm just going to pop the knife on the top. Keep your arms still, just watch and take this around. If it starts to get tacky, just pop it back on again. Lovely. It's a lovely effect on the top of the swirl. Very careful when you come near that edge. You want to come in about 1/2 centimetre from the edge. There we go. Oh, I did slightly knock that there, so I'll just push it back up. So see, I just slightly knocked that over the edge, so just with the heat, get it all back where it should be. So there we go. And that is our white chocolate drip that's pink. And that's how you use white chocolate for a drip cake. So give me 1 second, I'll be straight back to you. Okay, there is our white chocolate drip cake showing you how to colour it as well. So make sure that those colourings are oil based, and this is how it'll turn out. So I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope it's been helpful. Just remember with the white chocolate that if it's not coming off in a complete line, like I told you, just pop it into the microwave for 5 or 10 seconds. So take care. I will see you again soon. Bye bye.